Oh, boy. Lord, help me through this one. It has been a long night in Notre Dame land. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to the nightmare known as being a Notre Dame football follower. So let me set the scene for you. Okay, let me set the scene. I'm coming to you live right now after a 3.5-hour call-in show of pure misery. Notre Dame fan after Notre Dame fan after Notre Dame fan expressing their misery and frustration and depression and everything else with this football team. There's a lot to go over. Let's break it down. I don't know where we go from here. That 3.5 hours didn't clear the path up for me, Annie. I don't know where you go from here. Let's try and break it down. I'm skipping the introduction. Follow me, read me, whatever. I'm just not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood. Follow me, subscribe on YouTube, read the articles. We do a really good job over there. Notre Dame Fighting Irish, brought to you by Sports Illustrated. We do a good job. Patreon, Goolsby's over there breaking down 80 hours of film per minute. Everybody cares so much about this. It would just be nice to get up. It would just be nice for it to go well, for all the effort and worry and work put into it. Hey, at least I had a few days, right? I think, is that all you can ask for as a Notre Dame fan? At least I had a few days of pride to be able to walk around town with my head held high for Notre Dame and be proud of us and what we did and everything and be able to troll some other fan bases. At least I got a few days run out of it. But it's all over now. So the LSU people in the chat trolling me on the live stream, good for you. That's what you should do. I was giving the Florida State people a hard time the way they started their season. Throw it back at me. I was riding the Michigan people earlier today, even though they don't really have a leg to stand on. You could throw it back on me as well. I deserve it. That's fine. But at least John had a few days to be happy in his life, and that's all we get. So, but at least I had that little window. Here's where we're going to start. I took some heat. Friday night, I posted a YouTube short, and it was called, what could go wrong for Notre Dame against NIU? And then I got all, how I do. I started yelling, saying, what could go wrong? You could Marshall yourself. You could Stanford yourself. You could Toledo torpedo yourself. Even though they ended up sneaking that one out. You know what I was referencing. I was referencing these sleepy day games at Notre Dame where it's an opponent that excites no one and the team sleepwalks and it's a nightmare. And you're just lucky to escape with the win at home. A bunch of people messaged me, that ain't going to happen to this team. Don't worry about it, John. You need to settle down, eat an edible, relax. All these are comments I got. Chill out. That it's going to be different this time. What do you mean? 12 hours later, there it is. Here's the thing, man. You can't trust Notre Dame football. This ain't Frank Leahy in the old days. You cannot trust Notre Dame football. The concept to me that this team would do and accomplish and look the way they did last week against A&M and then come out in their home field for the first time and do this. It's beyond comprehension is how off the radar this outcome was. And here's the other problem with it, you guys. The other problem with it is there's problems with everything. You didn't do anything good enough. I have problems with every single part of the team. They like that. There's nothing to lean on. There's no foundation. I have a problem with everything. Everything. The offense I have problems with. The defense I have problems with. Your fancy quarterback you paid millions of dollars I got problems with. Special teams I got problems with. Coaching I got problems with. Preparation during the week I got problems with. Adjustments during the game I got problems with. Leadership I got problems with everything. I got problems with every aspect of this football operation. There's not one single part of it that does a good enough job. I got a problem everywhere. And I don't know how you begin to solve problems when everything's a problem. You didn't do anything good enough. And I know it's like, John, if the defense gives up 16 points, if the defense gives up 16 points, you can't blame the defense for this. If they only gave up 16, it's kind of on the offense to not turn the ball over a couple times and score more than 14 points. I get that. But at the same time, you guys, why are you giving up 198 yards passing to Northern Illinois? Why in the hell are you giving up 190 yards rushing to Northern Illinois? Why? How and why? And why and how? I need to know. So I get it. You could say you give up 16 points. That's not on the defense. It is not okay to give up almost 200 yards passing to Northern Illinois and 190 yards rushing. That is not okay. And I'm telling you what, unless my eyes deceive me, it sure looked like Northern Illinois owned the line of scrimmage and was pushing us around on both sides of the ball. So I don't know where all that tough guy stuff from last week went. Or maybe A&M's really no good and we're really no good. And it was just week one, so nobody knew it yet about either side. I don't know. And, I'm talking about that defense and whatever happened. Bro, they have one playmaker, and you let him run wild on you all day. It through the air and the ground. They have one great playmaker, and you let him cook you all day. At home, it's completely unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. And I didn't even get to the offense yet. What a whole ungodly, holy mess. I can't even we brought Denbrock in here to stabilize the offense, put together plans to make it work. I have no idea what they were even trying to do in this game. Did everything go into A&M and then this week, what? Nothing? You're going to run Riley Leonard the early on, whatever, and go down and score. And then that kind of worked for you, but then you didn't do it that much anymore. And then you're going to kind of run Jeremiah Love, but not really. After the touchdown, he gets one catch. He only has 11 carries for the game. You could have handed it to him a million times and probably won this game. Lined up and just hand it to Love and try and block it. He alone probably could have won this game. And I got news for Riley Leonard, man. Tough kid, good kid, whatever. I'm glad. Bro, I'm not paying you the amount of money you got paid to come in here and look like that against Northern Illinois. It's unacceptable. I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. I'm sorry. And I got to credit Northern. Northern Illinois was not scared of Notre Dame or Notre Dame Stadium at all at any point the whole day. They did not give a flying hootenanny about playing at Notre Dame and, oh, my God, the Golden Dome, and look at all these people, and they have gold helmets, and they're bigger than us. Ugh. They didn't care. They embarrassed you, man. They just every single aspect of the game, they outplayed you. They outcoached you. They out-hustled you. They outplayed you. They out-adjusted you. They made the big plays when they needed to. It's unacceptable. Notre Dame keeps being in these type of games, and it doesn't even seem to matter who the coach is. Kelly had a million of them. Freeman's got them all the time. You only get 12 games in a year. You don't get to just not show up for one or two. You only get 12. How can you just not show up for a couple? And this is way, 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 way more than well, the guys were just tired after A&M and beat up after A&M or what. This was so off the radar bad. That excuse isn't going to fly, man. This was bad preparation, bad planning, bad adjustments. I have problems with every single part of the team, man. The offense, the defense, the coaching, the quarterbacks. I don't know. Somebody's got to watch the film and tell me, maybe I don't know. Do none of our wide receivers get open down the field? They tried that this week. Does no one get open? Or can Leonard just not throw it to him? Or he doesn't see him? Somebody watch the film back or get the all 22 so you can see beyond where the NBC camera is. Tell me, did no one get open against Northern secondary, or did Leonard just not see him and not be able to pull the trigger? Either way, it's an unacceptable answer. I was told that this wide receiver group's totally different, and they have really good guys that are all going to be getting open, and it's going to be such a better group. Well, I didn't see him making any moves against Northern Illinois, so spare me that story. Unless the all-22 shows guys running open and Riley Leonard not seeing them. Then I'll retract that and be mad at him. Now, you're in big, big trouble now. You're in big, big trouble now. You know why? Who are you? What are you? We're back to having no stability at all in the program. That's the biggest. If you want to zoom out from this, there's the short term. You have one loss now. And then what that does, you got to run the table to have a chance at the playoff. But what are the odds you're going to run the table if you look like this? And that shows how bad you could be. Why would anybody think you could run the table if you're playing this bad at home against Northern? Like, I get all that. But zoom out from that's the immediate. Zoom out. Zoom back out. Where's the program now? There's no foundation. There's no footing. There's nothing solid. You can't trust anything. It's right back to square one. You can't trust anything in the program after you do this. That's the biggest big picture part of this. The Freeman era, you don't know where it is now. 1 week ago, riding high, getting all the national credit, top 5 team, whatever. But you can't do this in year 3, man. So now you have no footing. You have no foundation. You have nothing you can rely on, nothing you can trust. We're in that whole thing again, man. Week to week now, you're going to have to cross your fingers and hope the team shows up to play. Even that defense that I was sure was going to come ready every day didn't play like themselves. I know it's 16 points, but 200 yards passing to Illinois and almost 200 rushing is too many. Even though it's only 16 points, those numbers are too many against Northern. And it really, really bothers me that you let this Brown kid destroy you when he's the only playmaker they have and you couldn't stop him through the air and the ground. 100 yards on the ground and 126 in the air. He's the only guy that could burn you on your team, and you let him do it to you both ways. It's unfreaking believable. It's unbelievable. And so I don't know where this leaves you. I don't know where this leaves you. Like, this is the one it couldn't be, and it looked the way it couldn't look. And I'm so mad at everything. There's not one part that's good enough. Even the special teams, you guys, this Australian punter or whatever, that's the other thing. The media told me he was kicking it 65, 70 yards every day in practice or whatever. Every one of them looks like a weird lame duck that barely goes 40 yards now. When is he going to open that thing up out of his kangaroo pouch from Australia and kick it down there? I don't understand. He ain't kicking. He like short kicks everything, and it isn't going no 65, 70 yards. You got 2 field goals blocked, even though one of them was a 98-yard attempt. You got 2 field goals, but you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. I have no idea what the offensive game plan was. You could have just handed the ball to Love and probably won this game. I don't know what you were trying to do. So you got shredded with no answers. You got humiliated. You got embarrassed. Everybody's going to make fun of you. We all deserve it. It's an absolute nightmare. It's the one it couldn't be. This brings into question everything. This brings into question everything. You could question anything you want now. Should they bench Riley Leonard and go with one of the other guys? Fair question after this. Listen, if this was CJ Carr that had a rough day and whatever, that's a different dynamic. But when you pay an upperclassman a lot of money to come in here for 1 year and win you these type of games, this is an unacceptable outcome. I'm not getting the ROI on that money. It's an unacceptable performance. This is not a young guy that needs to grow and learn or whatever. You can't throw that interception to lose the game if you're Riley Leonard. You can't do it. You just can't do it. And you did it. I saw people asking, John, in the post, the call-in, John, was the Marshall loss worse than this one, or was this worse? This was 100 times worse than Marshall. Then you could be like, it's still year one, only game 2 of year one. Everything's new and we're learning whatever, and the quarterback got her, whatever. This is 100 times worse than that. Are you kidding me? Are you outside your mind? It's way worse. So you completely undid your credibility and anything you gained on the high end last week. God bless the 40-something recruits that were there. That was a party. They're really going to want to sign up now. Like, dude, just a total nightmare. Total nightmare. Outcoached, unprepared, disinterested, disengaged, no answers, no solutions, all of it. I would love to know what kind of week of practice did these guys have? What was the vibe like? What was it like in that locker room before the game? It was just how can you no-show the first home game of the season at Notre Dame in front of your home fans and you just no-show? I don't even get how that's possible, man. Where's your leadership? So I have problems with literally every single aspect of all of this. I have problems with all of this. None of it's good enough. Any part of this you want to name wasn't good enough. Special teams, offense, defense, preparation, coaching, leadership, adjustments, the game plan, whatever, blah, 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 making big plays, nobody stepping up, like all of it. This was what it couldn't be. And it was. And now you have real problems. You're not even down at the ground level now. You're underground. So whatever, at least I had a few days to have pride and feel good about, whatever. And it's all over, and that's ruined. This is a big. The Ohio State loss last year was big, and I said it was bigger than one loss. Like it represented something bigger that was going to linger. So is this. Marcus does a good job of getting those guys engaged for those big game moments, like both the Ohio State games. We were ready for it to open up and everything. Last week, we were ready. A lot of those, he does a good job of getting the guys ready for. You got to get guys ready to play all of the games. There's only 12 of them. They're all so important. So I don't know. Total nightmare. Absolute catastrophe, humiliating, embarrassing. My stomach is turning. I'm hurt. And the biggest thing is, guys, this is the big picture. I can't trust anything in Notre Dame land. That is the biggest takeaway. You're back in that spot. Last week you thought, oh man, that was awesome. We got something to lean on now, whatever. No, you don't. You're back to square zero. You have nothing you could trust, nothing you have faith in, questioning all the coaching, the Freeman era, everything. It's all fair game. It's all fair to question and doubt everything. Totally unacceptable nightmare. Life as a Notre Dame fan the last 30 years, this is what you get. I don't know why. This is what you get, and it's awful, and I'm miserable.